Welcome to the Printer's Edge with Rock Lamanna, a podcast about how to sell, buy, or build a printing business. Now here are your hosts, Rock Lamanna and Ken Okel.
Welcome to the Printer's Edge podcast presented by the Lamanna Alliance. Hi, I'm Ken Okel. So glad to have you here for this episode. With me, as always, is the man, Mr. Rock Lamanna, your printing world connector. He's the guy who gives you immediate access to solutions. Rock, thanks so much for being here today.
Very excited, Ken, once again.
So we are getting ready for that time of year where people are coming to the tail end of 2016. It's gone by really fast, and they realize we got to start thinking about 2017. And that's really, Rock, what we need to think about in terms of how do you prepare for that new year for your business? What are some things people need to keep in mind?
That's exactly right, Ken. A lot going on. That's why strategically all the expos are usually between September through November of each year. And that's when the companies to watch and the leaders are walking these trade shows, looking at the future, looking at technology, looking for talent, looking for all the right strategies to grow.
I know, Rock, you're always someone who is big on planning and having a formal plan and a goal. I understand that a lot of printing business owners, they don't do any of that, and that could be a problem.
Well, it depends. Printing is in favor at this point, and there's a lot of baby boomers looking at which way are they going to go. Are they going to look at growth? Are they looking at succession? Are they looking at an exit strategy? Private equity is entering into the marketplace, and they're looking at ways to acquire and consolidate the opportunities. So strategically, it's getting to be more and more advantageous to have a game plan, put it on paper, and that helps keep everyone disciplined and focused on what their benchmarks and their accomplishments need to be in the next 1, 2, 3 years out.
You've had a chance to go to a lot of these printing events over the past few months, as you mentioned. What's the main thing a lot of these owners are looking for as they get into a new year?
Surprisingly, this past year at Graph Expo, Label Expo, Pack Expo, the SGIA, AmCon, just to name a few. Plus, I've probably walked through at least 20 operations in the past couple of months. And what really surprises me most is the search for talent. And how difficult it is not only to get a workforce, experienced workforce, but it's to attract opportunity for people to work for a company that has a future, that has sustainability, that has a game plan to be executed, because most skilled people want to be able to have a strategic plan, expand on that expansion game plan, and also execute what needs to be done. Because bottom line is that's going to be fulfilling to meet its objectives.
And do most of these firms have an adequate hiring process, or are they just kind of thinking, we need someone good, but we really don't know how we're going to get them?
Most of our clients are privately held printing companies that do not have a hiring process. Today's opportunities, and this is where the Lamanna Alliance comes in, we've done the research, we've worked with the best of the best when it comes down to coaches, when it comes down to HR, talking to the associations. There's so many contacts now that we've basically filtered our way through to find out the right people to contact for your expertise. For an example, some people are in the label industry. You do not realize that there are recruiting experts out there that specialize in labeling or in packaging or in wide format. But there's also training, sales training opportunities, and the recruiting executive process or sales manager process has really changed over the last few years. It's very systematic today, but it still needs to attract the candidates, the people that are looking to grow, the people that are looking to expand their business and their profession. There's a lot of people that are what I would call sales professionals that are looking for the best opportunity for themselves. They may not be in the right position. Their current service provider or printer or employer might not have the vision that these people have for their future. So bottom line here is those tools and those systems and that infrastructure is available today at an investment. But the key here is you could actually figure out what your return on investment is through various mechanisms. So bottom line here is it's not just mergers and acquisition growth. There's organic growth and strategies. And the leaders, from what I understand, listening to the client at all these trade shows, the biggest thing missing is people. Not only the strategy, but the people to execute the strategy. And that takes time, takes investment, and it could actually take you off the focus of what you're trying to achieve.
Rock, take me into your world, and what is that typical dialogue like when someone first contacts you where they want things to get better, but they may not be sure how that exactly happens?
Well, usually what happens, Ken, is I'll get a referral from someone in the industry or my website, an article that I published. Someone will call me and say, hey, Rock, here's my situation. So we set up a time, discreet, confidential dialogue. And the first thing they want to talk about is themselves and what they've done and what their issues are. If it's a family business, if it's the size of their company, what are the issues? So we start talking about the quantitative initially. Then we start talking about people, the organization, who's running the show, who's running marketing, what do you have for a sales force, how many people do you have in your sales force, is it a profitability issue? We start talking about some very, very personal information. And at times, people want to have some type of confidentiality agreement signed, which is no problem. All this is professional information that's kept internal. The next step basically is how I can help them because they're looking for some type of solution. But before we get to the solution, there's many, many questions about the issues or who's executing, who's not executing, what's the strategy, what they feel is the problem. Is it competition? Or is there an excuse for not achieving something? Do they have a game plan? What's their future look like? What are they trying to achieve? So we'll go on with various questions, and it's usually a series of conversations before we're retained, or I refer the right people, the right coach, if they need a personal coach, if they need a strategic coach of some sort. Before we get to solutions, we have to really ask the real questions and understand and identify what the real issue is before we can proceed. So basically, that's how it starts out. We could also talk about mergers and acquisitions. We could talk about the sale of their business, personal objectives, whether they're going to retire in 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. If they have a family that they want to train or develop some skills or bring in an outsider to help coach the family to run the business. It all depends on the situation, but we ask some very, very specific questions. And it is systematic in certain ways because once we get that information, we could act.
In just a moment, we're going to go over one of the biggest things you should do as you look ahead to 2017. But first, I want to remind you that this edition of the Printer's Edge podcast is brought to you by the Lamanna Alliance. And Rock, I thought it might be good for you to talk a little bit about the Lamanna Alliance and how people can get a special deal right now through your website.
The way our process is, basically we do a lot of content marketing. I have a blog, I have insights, up to date, what I call real time, by walking the marketplace. And we go all over the country. I have some experts working on opportunities and referral agents that we work towards joining and subscribing to the Lamanna Alliance. So it's pretty easy. Just go to my website, rocklamanna.com. Go to my blog. You'll see information galore for the last 6-7 years. A lot of historic published articles, hopefully relating to your situation, that will speak your language. So business owners and people that are looking to grow, private equity, looking to expand their geographic situation, just go to my website, rocklamanna.com. That's ROCKLAMANNA.com. Subscribe to my information. You could also go to LinkedIn, see my profile, Rock Lamanna, and we'll connect. We have close to 5,000 contacts in LinkedIn alone. So we're pretty excited about passing on the word globally.
Rock, I know as people are looking forward to 2017, you were telling me before that there is one thing that they should really start to do first as they look to growing their business or transforming their business in the upcoming year. What is that?
Evaluation. Very, very important to understand where you are in the marketplace, not only for yourself, but looking at your future, how you rank with your peers, how you look potentially to grow your business, to expand, to acquire another business, to attract good talent where you are in the industry. And the other, of course, is potentially to sell. We have clients that will do valuations 3 to 5 years ahead of time just to understand where they are, where they need to go, and how we help them get there.
I could see if you don't know where you are and really know where you are, not where you think you are, it's so important as you plan to make that next step. So sounds very good. So as we wrap up this edition of the Printer's Edge podcast, I just want to remind everyone that we'll have future editions coming out to make this a strong year for you. You can also go to iTunes and look up some of our past episodes, check out what we've been talking about, join the discussion as well. So hope you look forward to that. If you want to find out more about me, you can always go to my website. It's kenokel.com, KENOKEL. I'm a speaker who helps leaders make their teams themselves just a little bit more productive. And Rock, if someone would like to contact you, where should they go for that?
rocklamanna.com. Subscribe or otherwise call me at 561-543-2323. I'm located in Florida. However, I travel.
You do. You get the mileage club, I think, for the two of us. So for now, we just want to wish everyone a wonderful holiday season. Hopefully the weather will be beautiful and not too yucky. I guess it's time, Rock, it's as we usually say at the end of the episode.
See you in the marketplace.
See you in the marketplace, everyone. Take care.
This is the Printer's Edge with Rock Lamanna. Thanks for listening.